Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Dorothy Morgan, a professional astrologer. We're going to talk about the astrology for July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. I know I'm a little late for the regulars out there. I usually do this a day ahead, but I was too tired yesterday. I took 2 days off in a row, spent a lot of time out on the kayak in the sun, especially yesterday. Oh, I was exhausted last night. Couldn't do a thing. So we're here today. We're going to talk about what's going on today. A lot of Mercury involved today. So we have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. There's a ton of Mercury aspects. And then Mars is changing signs on Monday. So we're going to talk Monday, Tuesday, depends on where you live. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about we're going to roll the astro dice for those of you who are new. We love to do this after the astrology. It's astrology dice. We ask a question. We ask Spirit to say, what else do you want us to know? That's a opportunity for you to ask a question yourself, and my interpretation will help maybe answer your question. And then we pull a card from this deck. Here we go, this deck. There we are. Sometimes it's too shiny. There we go. It's a great deck. I love it. I use it all the time. I have Taurus rising, Gemini, Taurus rising, Capricorn moon. I love the earthy stuff. That's my way of relaxing and enjoying life and finding space when things get overwhelmed, right? When things get overwhelming, that's what I need to do. I need to go find that space there. How do you find that space is a good question. I'm going to share my screen for the people who haven't been here before. And if you are new here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, because YouTube doesn't always think that, if I can't keep you on their platform long enough, they're not going to recommend my videos. So the only way you'll know they're up is if you're notified. Okay. That's just how YouTube works for a small fry like myself. The way it is. So yesterday and last night, we'll just say this from this recording. Let's be clear. July 1st. It was late in the evening here in the United States, but we did have the exact aspect between Mars and Pluto. It was a square. And, Mars and Pluto can be quite dynamic. And that meaning, Mars in Aries, he's very much at the very end of Aries. So we're going to be feeling the intensity of that all the way through until it shifts into Taurus, which will be in the middle of the night, Monday night into Tuesday morning, July 4th into the 5th. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is that, and you'll notice there are not all the planets are in here. I just want to keep this clean inside so you guys can see some things. I did take some of the planets out because I'm not talking about everything. The energy of the Mars-Pluto square is this. Now, I didn't find it a difficult day at all. I was very driven to do the things that I wanted to do. That's Mars in Aries. That's how I felt over the last couple of days. I didn't do any work because I need time off. Being self-employed, though, it's Saturday morning on a holiday weekend and I'm here working. I don't mind. But I needed a couple of days off. I took a couple of days off. We're driven when we have Mars and Aries because our Aries area of our chart is lit up when a planet is moving through there, especially the ruler of Aries. And so we're at the very end now. So again, we just have the next few days, July 1st, 2nd, 3rd. No, July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. When Mars is at the final 2 degrees of Aries, it's sign. It won't be back into Aries for 2 years. So we feel driven to do what's important to us. That square to Pluto can be, it can encourage us to change, look at the structure and the foundation of your own life. We can see it out in the world. And that's fine. And do the things you need to do, because you can, if you're a fighter and an activist and things really fire you up, what action can you take? That's that Mars and Aries square Pluto, because there's a lot of foundational structural things that are changing in this world. And if you as an individual are inspired and motivated, Mars and Aries, to take some action, you're going to be doing it over these next few days, if you haven't already. That's the Mars square Pluto. And that's how I see it. For me personally, I mean, it was just, I did the things I wanted to do for those couple of days. The aspect is now separating aspects, so we get to live with our consequences. But Mars is still in Aries for those 3 days, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. at the final degree. So we're still going to be feeling very motivated, very activated to take action. Not everybody. This is just true for some of us. All right, let's move on to other aspects. So the first thing I want to talk about, which is also today, this was first thing this morning, early at sunrise, but it's still in effect today, still in effect now. And you would have felt it on Saturday, the 2nd, and even the 1st. And that is Mercury. Everything moved. Here it is. Mercury in Gemini this is the focus today in this recording for the next 3 days, is Mercury. Mercury finishing its trek through Gemini, and with it making that all the contacts that it's making. All right. So Mercury in Gemini, communication, information. Now this is news and information in that resource. However, it could also just be, it's just like connecting with people you haven't connected with in a while. It's a holiday weekend here in the United States, so we have a few extra days off to some people, not everybody, but to connect and gather with friends and family that you don't get to see very often, especially since we've had, 2 years of this. So this will be a really active weekend, a lot of traveling, a lot of communicating. That's Mercury in Gemini. First thing this morning, it made a trine aspect to Saturn, also an air sign, Saturn in Aquarius. So to me, this is fantastic. Let me look at my notes, make sure I don't have I'm missing any. I do a monthly thing, by the way, and it's over on Patreon, because I do a very in-depth, it takes a couple hours, an hour and a half or so, in-depth once a month forecast, but I need to pay my bills too. So it is over on Patreon, and there's a small monthly fee if you would like to have all of this content before the day it's happening. And that's where you will find that. And that's the way you can support me if you want to. And I'm blessed that you will, if you do. Thank you so much. Or here, again, just comment below. That helps the algorithm shit too. I swore. Who knows? YouTube has its own entity. So back to this. I digress. Mercury trine Saturn. It is, to me, it's nice. It's intelligent, it's smart, it's ideas. It's like, when we have time off, I know I do. When I have time off, and I'm out just doing my thing, all of a sudden just problems that I have, or a solution, something I'm trying to figure out. Aquarius is like, I got an issue on my website I need to figure out. All of a sudden, boom, that's why that's doing that. And it'll happen. So it's those brilliant ideas, those bright ideas, thoughts that come to you. That's what this is, Mercury trine Saturn. That's how we'll feel that throughout the weekend. The next aspect that I wanted to talk about is, let's just switch the chart because it's at a different time of day. This is also on Saturday, July 2nd, but not till 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's Mercury is squaring Neptune. Now, Mercury's doing all of these things at the same time. It's still trine Saturn. It's still square Neptune, Mercury square Neptune. For me, going out on the water, Neptune and Pisces going out on the water, thoughts, processes, ideas. I probably won't do that today. I did so much of it the last 2 days that I'm actually a little sore. I'm going to get stronger every day. I have a bad lower back, so it makes it I can't do things every single day like that, because that's heavy physical activity, schlepping that kayak out of the car into the water, in and out. I love it though. Mercury. So that's how I'm using Mercury square Neptune over these couple of days. I'm using it. Get out in the water and not think about anything. Just chill. Watch the fish jump out of the pond after the dragonflies. It's pretty cool. It's like watching a meteor shower. You just sort of have to stare at the whole thing, not knowing exactly where it's going to show up. And then the fish are just jumping. It's really fun. It's fun to watch. It's just the whole cycle of life. It's pretty cool. So Mercury squaring Neptune is that. It's dreaming, it's daydreaming, it's relaxing, it's meditating, it's being out on the water if you're able to do that. And it is it's really helpful that it's also trine Saturn, because Mercury squaring Neptune, we can just be a lot of daydreaming. However, And we might be drinking a lot too. And because that's Neptune as well, escape. And that's if it's a holiday weekend for you, yeah, what's wrong with that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We also have in another couple of days Mercury sextile Mars, but it's really close. It's just within a couple of degrees of coming together. When does that happen? I don't think that happens until later in the week. It doesn't happen until they change signs. I'll talk about that another time. I'll talk about that on Tuesday. The 5th is when they come together, but they're both in other signs by that. So make sure you pay attention over the weekend that since Mars is at the final degrees of Aries, we're going to be pushing our own agenda. So you want to be careful of that. And Mercury in Gemini, making all those aspects, is definitely a piece of the puzzle. And then the final aspect, this is on Sunday. This isn't until late in the evening. However, this is when, and it's a different, again, the Earth does spin. Here's Mercury at 27. There's Pluto at 27. This is a quincunx. So this is on Sunday night. There's a disconnect here. So they're in a quincunx aspect, but if you haven't been noticing, I'm going to circle it over here. The declination throughout the whole weekend, Mercury and Pluto have been in contra-parallel with each other. So feels like an opposition. Here, they're in a quincunx. What does that mean? That means information and communication and trying to step into our own strength and power. And, what information am I getting, right? Maybe you're going to recognize some truth comes to the surface and you finally realize it's like a light bulb. Oh, that's what that means. And it shifts your perspective of something, just the way you see something. You know what I mean when I say that, because there are times in our lives when all of a sudden, something just shifts and our perspective changes. And that to me, and I can't tell you what that subject matter is. It's up, everybody's different, but I can tell that that's to me what this connection between Mercury and Pluto is. The contra-parallel throughout the whole, these 3 days, July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, even the 5th is still very close. It's that. And again, with Mercury trine Saturn in this time frame, that can wake us up and see something that actually is the truth, because Neptune, the square to Neptune has been, there's been this veil or this non-truth going on, there's a veil. And so now that's been lifted and we have a different perspective of something. You don't have to make this ominous, because sometimes just having a different perspective about something is wonderful, because you can see something from somebody else's eyes, and then you can engage in more empathy and understanding, right? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I see when I'm pulling all of these 3 days together, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th. And so Saturday, if you're getting to see this on Saturday, July 2nd, I want you to also notice, you can see there's a big square in the middle of this chart. So that means this is called the Grand Cross, and it's fixed. This Taurus, the moon is engaging in that, is connecting with the nodes and opposite Saturn. That exact aspect, let's find it. When the moon is exactly opposite Saturn, that is at 10 p.m. the night, Eastern Daylight Time, the night of July 2nd. So throughout the whole day, that moon in Leo is fun. It's playful. It's like, don't be a crabby pants. Just get out there and have some fun. Even if you're working today, when you're not working, because nobody works 24 hours, unless, there's a few people that do. So I'm sorry. But the rest of us, find a way to get out there, have some fun, be creative. This is a big fixed cross, Grand Cross, it's called. And that creates a little tension. That means with something's like something needs to shift. It's like, oof, just a big push, play, have fun. And I think I'm going to stop the astrology right there, because that's where I could hear it in my head, where we're going to ask Spirit, what else do you want us to know about that? Or if you don't care about that, I'm going to talk about that, but I want you to, if you have a question, ask Spirit a question now. What you do? Neptune and Gemini in the second house. For those of you who don't know astrology dice, I did buy a new pair. So they look like that. Neptune and Gemini. And number 2 came up, so that represents the second house. Neptune and Gemini in the second house. So it's, oh, that's what, so value, second house is what we love, what we value, how we use skills and talents to earn a living. Neptune and Gemini is, I'm tapping into my head. Neptune, of course I am. Neptune and Gemini, writing down the dreams, writing down your hopes and dreams, goal setting, intention setting, and or taking music and writing music. If you have music, if you know how to write, I mean, I have absolutely no clue. Writing music, playing music, because it's something you value, second house. Writing some meditations out, writing poetry. That's all Neptune and Gemini qualities. You can do it because you love it and you value it. Some people will do this to earn money. Second house is how we use our skills and talents to earn a living. So that is a really unique message. Could be that is telling somebody, get your poetry out there, get your creative art out there. Neptune is that too. But we did have Gemini. So Gemini is more so represents the words. Get your poetry out. Get your writing out. I need a sip. Give me a sec. So it's going long because it's for 3 days. I do have lots of client space available if people go to my website, DorothyMorganAstrologer.com. Click on sessions. Actually, I don't know what it's called. I don't know what the link is, but it'll be obvious. It's drawing a blank right now. I have to go look. What is it? Yes, book online. I couldn't remember what it was called. It's called Book Online. Here, I'll share my screen with you. There we are. Services, Book Online. All right, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. All right, we'll stop the share. I hope you guys are having a good weekend and you're able to find some time to chill out and relax and, you know, enjoy nature. I mean, to me, it's just we have to create some wiggle room because there's just been so much stress and tension. It has been nonstop for 2 years. And who doesn't like a campfire? That I have not been around in a couple of years, and I really do miss that. I have no way. So this one is it's being the storyteller, and you know, I've just done all of that. I've gave you those stories, those little bit of stories about what the astrology aspects for these next 3 days can represent and how you can use them in your own life, or you can just ignore it and not use it. It's up to you. But the storyteller is, and again, I was just saying, you know, get out in nature, spend some time there. I mean, staring at a campfire, you can just like have beautiful memories, tell stories. I mean, it is just, so it's about, that card shows me just like spend some time, chill out, relax, enjoy life in any little way that you can. And again, I know some of you are in like maximum stress, but just find that wiggle room for yourself. Even if it's just a couple minutes here and there, you have to create that wiggle room. I know what that's like. I've been there myself. Years of something that was just not going great for me. And finally, I was just like, I got to pull myself out of this. This was about a decade ago. I got to pull myself out of this. And I slowly found some wiggle room, just a couple minutes here and there, where you don't let the negative thoughts in, the negative feelings. You just find something that is just beautiful to you, just for a couple minutes. And that starts to create the space so you can move forward into which feels better for you. All right. I could talk for another hour. I'm not gonna. Please come and join me over on Patreon and come and check out my website. You can become a member over there. No charge for that. There isn't, it's all free. You get a free PDF download of some great stuff if you join the email list through the website. And what else? That's it. Have a great couple of days, everybody. I'll be back soon. Blessings. Namaste.